Welcome to Betrayal Stories. New episodes weekly.
5 years married. 2 years trying. Today, the test showed one line again. I sat on the bathroom floor and cried. That night, my husband said the one thing I never expected to hear. What if you get pregnant with someone else? For us. He swore it wouldn't be cheating because we'd agree. I wasn't sure if consent could ever cancel the feeling of betrayal. We're good together. Hey, steady, kind, not a drinker, the guy who remembers to bring an extra sweater because I always get cold at the movies. When we finally said let's have a baby, nothing happened. I got checked, healthy. He agreed to testing without ego or drama, and a week later we walked out of a clinic as different people. Male factor. High likelihood of infertility, the doctor said gently. We sat at our kitchen table and went through options. Adoption. We realized we weren't emotionally ready yet. That step deserves a whole heart and we were still in pieces. IVF with an anonymous donor. Expensive for us, and the anonymity scared me. So we did what you do when you don't know what to do. We hoped. Every month. One line. Over and over. Then came his suggestion. I don't want you to lose your chance at being a mom because of me, he said. Let's set rules. One time. We do it together, and then we never look back. I laughed at first because the shock was easier than the pain. So you'll stand there and hold a candle. He winced. No. I don't want to see it. I don't want details. I want a plan we can both live with. Boundaries. Tests. And then we move on. We argued for a week. Everything in me recoiled at the idea of someone else touching me. But then I found myself frozen at a playground, watching toddlers in puffy jackets chase bubbles, and my chest physically hurt. That night we wrote the rules on paper. Health screening and paperwork first. No flirting, no dates, no photos, no keepsakes. No contact afterward. Anonymous. One attempt window only. This is our decision as a couple, and we go to counseling if it cracks us. We didn't look among friends. Too messy. A month later, a guy named Evan rotated in from our company's HQ for a short project. Married. 2 kids. Dry sense of humor. Left the office happy hours early. Barely touched his beer. A responsible vibe. We did this like a job interview because that made it survivable. Paperwork, tests, confidentiality. The week went planned. My husband packed a small bag. I'll go to my uncle's place for a few days, he said. I don't want to see you or this apartment through that lens. Am not leaving you. I just can't watch. I nodded. The space between us felt like a winter. Meeting Evan was clinical. Neutral place. No candlelight, no playlist, no story to tell our future selves. Just awkward pauses, a signed agreement, and silence. I won't describe the mechanics. I stared at a crack in the ceiling and counted my breaths. When it was over, I said thank you, because I didn't know what else to say, and went home to shower until my skin felt new. We kept it to technical meetings over 2 weeks. On his way out the last time, Evan tried to make a polite joke about a goodbye dinner. I said, we never had dinner. We want. He looked hurt, but nodded. I blocked his number. That was the agreement. On day 12, I saw 2 lines. I didn't believe it. I took another test. Still 2 lines. I called my husband. It worked, I said, shaking. He came back the next day, no dramatic speeches. He just wrapped me up and whispered into my hair. We did it. He went to every appointment. He squeezed my hand during the first ultrasound. He held up tiny socks in a store aisle and laughed because they looked like doll clothes. Not once did he say, that baby isn't mine. And then the lab called. Hi, this is the clinic. We're auditing prior reports. We need to discuss your husband's results from last month. There was a sample mix-up. It appears the infertility finding was not his. We're so sorry. I froze. I repeated the words to my husband, exactly as they said them. He sat down, keys still in his hand, and stared at the floor. "Then whose baby is this?" he asked, and I realized we'd never, not once, planned for that question. "We need a DNA test," he said quietly. "I can't breathe without it." The house didn't get louder. It got quieter, like the quiet that follows a slammed door. He still drove me to appointments. He still ordered the crib. But at 2 a.m., I could hear him pacing the hallway. Head flinch at his phone lighting up. At our next ultrasound, the heartbeat filled the room. I cried. He whispered, "Beautiful," and then sat in the car after, silent, before saying, "If the test says this baby is mine, will I feel better?" Or worse, because we put ourselves through something we didn't have to. A week later, Evan messaged from a different number. Polite. Short. I know we agreed to no contact. If it worked, I just need a yes or no for my own head. I won't interfere. I showed my husband. His knuckles went white around my phone. Tell him he's no one. Block him. I wrote, "Please respect the boundary. Do not contact me again." I blocked and stared at the wall for a long time. We went to counseling. I told the therapist I was scared we'd built a family on rules we couldn't live with. My husband said jealousy burns even when you light the match yourself. The therapist had us write a new plan, how we talk, how we fight, what we do with whatever truth arrives. It helped on paper. Paper doesn't hold you at 3 a.m. Sometimes I rest my palm on my belly and whisper, "I'm sorry your road to us was this messy." My husband assembles the crib in the room that used to be an office, then locks himself in the bathroom and runs the faucet loud enough to cover a sound I pretend I don't hear. People around us mean well. The only thing that matters is the baby, my mom says. A friend whispers, "He'll never forget." And I don't know which sentence is heavier. We've decided we'll do the DNA test right after birth. No secrets. No half-truths. If biology says my husband is the father, we will grieve the path we chose and forgive ourselves out loud in therapy for a long time. If biology says Evan is the father, my husband has promised to meet the truth on day one and then decide if he can stay. I asked if we'd ever tell Evan. He said he signed out of this. So did we. I don't think we're villains. We were two people backed into a corner by hope. We put boundaries on something boundaryless and thought that made it safe. Consent without clarity creates chaos. So tell me, if your partner asks you to do this, is it still cheating? Would you take the DNA test or live in peace if you could? And if a biological father politely asks for a yes, or notice he deserve even that? CTA comment, is consent enough to make this not cheating? What would you do about the DNA test? Subscribe for part 2. I'll share what happened when the test results arrived.
Thanks for watching Betrayal Stories. New episodes weekly.